So I was talking to someone recently about salmon. They had watched some of my other cooking shows and kind of liked them, and they asked me if I made salmon, and I said yes. And then I realized I hadn't had it in a while, and I love salmon, and I cook it on the grill. And then I make a creamy dill sauce. It's basically Greek yogurt with mayo, dill, and then of course garlic, because garlic has to be in everything. And it's just fabulous. It's on the grill, so that's what we're doing. That's what we're cooking with Mama Jen this time. I hope you enjoy. Some grilled salmon recipes, or some salmon recipes in general, that want a creamy dill sauce, which is what I love, how I love salmon. Use sour cream. I don't use sour cream. I'm going to use Greek yogurt, some mayonnaise, salt and pepper, obviously garlic powder, obviously lemon. If I don't add onion, although I've seen some salmon recipes where they're baked in the oven with onion on top. I don't want to do that. I consider salmon very, very delicate a fish, and I also will share with you that I always buy the fish with the skin on. And the reason I do that is because it holds, when I'm grilling, it holds the fish together. And that's the goal. We want to have the grill, we want to have all of those things put together, but we don't want the fish to fall apart on the grill so we can actually eat it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just rub the salmon in some avocado oil. When I'm grilling, and when you're grilling, whenever you're grilling, remember, you don't put oil on the grill platform. You put oil on the thing you're going to cook, whether it's a pork chop or a pork tenderloin or a steak, and I'm going to be making ribs tomorrow night for friends. You always oil the meat, not the grill. Obviously, if you put oil on the grill, it's going to spray and potentially flame up, and you don't want that to happen. So I'm going to coat the oil in, coat the salmon in oil. I will add some garlic, salt and pepper to the salmon, and then I will be making the dill sauce later. The cool part about salmon is that it cooks so quickly. I will also share with you, whenever I buy my fish, I make sure I buy it in a place that really knows how to deal with fish. But even when I do that, I always check for bones. I have a pet peeve about eating things. I don't want to fight with my food, so I'm not a big fan of fish that has a lot of bones in it. So I tend not to order that, not to buy that, not to cook it. But there are still some potential bones in salmon. So I checked this salmon already. We're good to go. So I've kind of covered my salmon in avocado oil, and I've put salt, pepper, and some garlic powder on it. And I'm heating my grill. I want to make sure that the grill is nice and hot, and then I'm going to turn it to a medium heat because we don't want to cook it too fast. Otherwise, it won't do what salmon's supposed to do. Salmon has a job, and it's going to be my lunch. That's a really cool job to have, in my opinion. I grill a lot. I eat almost every meal from my grill. I love to grill. I love the fact that when you're eating meat that might be fatty, it drips off the fat. Obviously, if you're going to do that and you're going to cook fish next, you need to make sure that you have absolutely cleaned the grill off. My salmon has been added. I have a very low fire. I want to cook it slowly so it doesn't overcook. Obviously, I'm going to pay attention, but quite frankly, the salmon should take, I would say, 10 to 15 minutes, depending. So pay attention to your flame. While it's doing its thing, I'm going to make my dill sauce. I forgot to mention, when you're cooking salmon on the grill and you have it on a low heat, you have to close the top so that the salmon continues to cook. There are places here in California that grill fish all the time. They use coal fire or wood fired grills, but they're cooking at a very, very high heat in a very fast way. That's not my goal at this point. So I'm going to close my grill lid so that my salmon can cook nice and slowly. So now I'm going to take a third a cup of Greek yogurt, plain obviously, a third a cup of mayo, about a squeeze of a half a lemon, about a teaspoon of dry dill, probably about a quarter teaspoon or a shake or two of garlic powder. I've already added salt and pepper to the fish itself, and then I'm going to blend it all together. So I've blended everything together, and I truly wish there was taste-o-vision because it's an amazing flavor. I did add garlic. I tend to like garlic. You can also throw a splash of wine just to add a little bit, but not really. It's not needed. You can add a little bit more lemon if you like it a little tart. Remember, both sour cream and Greek yogurt are going to add a tartness to the sauce, which is what you want when you're serving a salmon dish. So this is very personal to me. I tend to like a little bit of crunchy on the top of the fish, just my taste. It's me. So I will usually, when it's almost finished, just turn the salmon, making sure that the skin still stays where it is. I turn the salmon and I get a little tiny crunch on the top, and then I put it back to the skin side and let it finish. So just like I've turned it obviously, and I just like that little bit of crunch on the top, just a tiny bit. But as with meat, when I am cooking anything, I'm going to always do what I call the poke test to see how's it doing, how firm is the meat, is it ready to come off. Obviously this thin end is going to cook sooner than this part, and I want to see, are we ready? Because if it's too soft, it's not ready. I have a tendency to like salmon. I don't like it well done. I don't like anything well done. I don't like anything that's cooked to sawdust level. I know not everybody is that way when it comes to salmon, but as you can see, I've got flakiness happening here. It's really pretty, and I can't wait to taste it. Just a tiny bit more time. So I know some people eat the skin, the salmon skin. I don't particularly care for it. But what's really great is when you grill nice and slowly with a beautiful piece of salmon like this is, when you're ready to serve, the skin removes itself easily. Remember, the reason I leave the skin on is because the salmon will flake and the skin holds it together. When you are doing the turnover, as I showed you earlier, be very cautious and make sure you're paying attention to time. If you do it too late, it will be too late. I did this, I don't know, 7 minutes or 8 minutes into my grilling. Remember, medium-low heat, you grill it very, very slowly. And I'm about to put this fabulous sauce on top, and then I'm going to eat it. But I may not eat it all. In fact, I probably won't. I don't eat a whole lot. So what happens after the fact is leftovers become a fabulous salmon salad. If you want to add a little salmon or cooked salmon to pasta with a wonderful white sauce, it's amazing. There's so many things you can do with leftover salmon. Enjoy. I hope you have a good time. All I can say is the salmon is so tender and so perfect that my mouth is watering again, and I hope you love it as much as I do.